Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock. With news, Aussie bank strength is no longer world leading. But first, today's dairy auction brought yet another small decline, and they're now mounting up. This is the fourth in a row and the eighth in the last 10 auctions. Since this time last year, overall prices are down 14%. Since the start of 2018, they are down 6%. We're back to prices last seen in October 2016. The key milk powders are down a little less than the overall in today's auction. Overall, in New Zealand dollars, prices are actually 2.2% lower than the last auction. New season farmgate milk payout estimates are already looking shaky. Volumes sold overnight at auction were a high 42,000 tonnes, the highest since August 2015, and 10% more than the equivalent auction a year ago. In the US, the Federal Reserve Chairman noted a remarkably positive outlook for the American economy that he feels is on the verge of an historically rare era of low unemployment and tame prices. While China might be on holiday, Hong Kong is not, and yesterday their stock market took a major dive, down 2.4% on the day. A lot of Chinese companies are listed there, and investors are nervous about China's immediate economic prospects, especially its export prospects. Beijing may be able to control the narrative inside the country, but this is where the real sentiment shows up. We should also note that yields on Italian bonds took off sharply higher again yesterday, as doubts quickly overwhelmed last week's more sanguine views. Italy's new government's cavalier attitude to debt and deficits is a growing risk to the euro. In a largely optimistic statement on monetary policy released late yesterday, the RBA said business conditions were positive while public infrastructure investment and resource exports helped Australia's strong annual economic growth of 3.4%. But they noted that a key uncertainty is the outlook for household consumption. Growth in household incomes remains low and debt levels are high. They kept their policy rate unchanged at 1.5%. And there is a widely held goal for Australian banks to be unquestionably strong, which is defined as having their risk-adjusted capital ranked in the top quarter of all global banks. But while most global banks have been bolstering this measure, the main Aussie banks have been on the defensive, responding to other more political distractions. And they have slipped fast on this measure, according to the latest Standard & Poor's assessment. They're now in the bottom half of these rankings and have a lot of work to do to get back to where they were. The US Treasury 10-year yield is unchanged at 3.06%. Their 210 curve is now just on 24 basis points. Gold, however, is rising fast today, up $13 an ounce, now at $1,202 an ounce in New York. US oil prices are unchanged today and are still just over $75 a barrel, while the Brent benchmark is now just under $85 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar is starting today a little lower at just under 66 US cents. And the cross rates were a little firmer at 91.8 Aussie cents, but at 57 euro cents. That leaves the TWI at 70.1. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.